What is up? Welcome back. Vendetta Sports Media 2023-24 season previews. We are mere days away from the start of the NBA season. I'm excited. Jerry is excited. Today we'll be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans. Jerry.
Yeah. And
What?
Pelicans fans should be excited. I was going to say, it's a little quiet off season, but we'll get into all that in detail. I'm currently in Louisiana, and hopes are a little high from people I've spoken to about the Pelicans getting their opinions, but we'll see. Maybe it all weighs in on the injury status of a couple players.
I was going to say, this is one of the hardest. I mean, we'll get into what we think, how we think the season ends up for them in the end, but this was definitely one of the harder teams to project because it's solely reliant on the health of Zion Williamson, who's played 114 games in 4 years, on the health of Brandon Ingram, who I think's missed 60 to 63 games over the last 2 years. He played 45 last year. But this offseason wasn't incredibly jam-packed. I mean, they did replace 23-year-old Jackson Hayes with 31-year-old Cody Zeller. And if my Heat bias comes out even a little bit, I don't think that's a good move. No. They did draft Jordan Hawkins, who was one of the best movement shooters in the draft out of UConn, out of reigning national champion UConn Huskies, who just completely tore through the NCAA tournament last year. And Hawkins was a big part of that. This team already does have a few injuries. Trey Murphy's going to miss, I think, at least the first month or so of the season because of a knee injury. I know Najee Marshall just got hurt. So just a couple injuries at the wing. But the biggest question is, what will the health of Zion and Ingram look like? What say you, Jerry?
Well, I mean, like you said, that's the hardest question and the most important question because Zion's into his 4th year. Here's how his seasons have gone so far. Rookie year.
5th year.
5th year. That's right. He had a whole year off, yeah. He had a meniscus tear in his rookie season. Missed about half of that. Foot surgery after his 2nd season kept him out for virtually the whole thirds of his 3rd season. And last year, suffered a foot injury.
Yeah.
Or a hamstring injury. Kept him out for the second half of the year. And it's so unfortunate. I'll put it that way first, because he is a very, very entertaining guy to watch play. Very athletic, very explosive. But I think that's where his flaw comes in.
Yeah.
He's too explosive for his own body.
Definitely. He's not even that explosive anymore.
No,
or at least not compared to where he was at Duke. If you watch some of these, sorry to interrupt, but if you watch some of these videos, his explosiveness is just completely gone compared to where he used to be at. And I don't know if that's because of the injuries. I don't know if that's because of how good of shape he's in. I'm not someone who should be speaking on someone's shape because I sure shit am not in shape myself. But if he's not, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of things, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things he's just not the same guy we thought he was going to be. Obviously, there's that picture going around of him looking like 300 pounds. I know Louisiana food's good, but you're getting paid to do a job there. To an extent, injuries happen. It's just I keep thinking back to, is this a Greg Oden-esque career? Obviously, he's played probably a little more because Greg Oden, did 2 or 3 seasons and then had to retire, if it was even that many. But it's one of those things Zion has all this potential and just injury after injury. And it's not like it's ankle roll or doing something to the wrist. It's meniscus, hamstrings. Even his foot surgery is kind of a significant one. There are ones that are going to take a toll. And I'm not convinced he stays fully healthy this whole season. It's just nothing in his past has shown me that he will be able to, with all the travel and everything at the NBA level. And sad as it is to say, that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. I know it's never want to predict injuries, never hope to see him happen, but in the Pelicans and Zion's case, that's the big question of, is he going to get hurt? I'm leaning on the side of yes, sadly.
I mean, he's only played 40% of his game, only 40% of his team's games once in his career. He played, I think, 60 or 61 games in 2021. Yeah.
And he's played 53 games in his other through 4 seasons combined or 3 seasons combined.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously, like, when you watch him play, to your earlier point, he's one of the most dominant players whenever he's on the floor. And that's like with the ball in his hands, he's just an immovable object. He's an unstoppable force whenever he gets an angle or like barrels his shoulder to the rim. And the fact that he can't stay healthy. I mean, this team was like the number 1 team in the West last year before, I think, like at like a certain point before he got hurt or something. Like he's super important to what they do, and they finished 42-40. They finished 9th in the West. They lost, I think, to the Thunder in the play-in. And like it obviously doesn't help that Brandon Ingram was also out for a portion of that with the lower body injury in his own right. But it sucks to see like that Zion just hasn't been healthy. You hope that changes, but to your point, those type of injuries are ones, especially for a guy his size. You're going to lose explosiveness from that, but also like you're at risk of just another injury. And like, I hope that's not the case.
No,
obviously.
I'm with you completely. It's because they were up until January of last year, they were a top 3 seed in the West virtually the entire season. Then Zion gets hurt, Ingram gets hurt, and they fell out of it for a little bit and had to fight their way to get even a play-in berth. So where I'm concerned this year is if something happens to just one of them, which I think it probably will, because Ingram's not exactly the healthiest players, one of the healthiest players in the league. Missed all of December and virtually all of January with a toe injury last year. And it was his career low of 45 games, but still hit career highs in points. So he had the showing out there when he was healthy. It's just if he could stay healthy the whole year and put up career numbers, this team could have finished as a 7, maybe even a 6 or something in the West. And now the West is just getting more difficult. I think they're going to have a tough season this year.
Man, like
people thinking that injury is going to happen. If injuries don't happen, let's put it best case scenario for the Pelicans, I could see them finishing as a top 5 seed in the West if everything stays healthy. But that's a big if.
I mean, the West is deep.
I don't love their bench.
I mean, there's some of their depth pieces I like.
Yeah.
Like I like Trey Murphy. I like Herb Jones. I like Dyson Daniels, who I think is going to have a bigger role this year.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if Hawkins emerges in the rotation, which he might because of Murphy's injury.
Yeah.
I like Alvarado. Like I like some of their bench pieces. Again, I'm not a huge. Again, I have a flag behind me, which might show my bias a little bit here, but I'm just not a big Zeller guy. I don't like. I mean, not that Jackson Hayes was the perfect 5 there behind Valanciunas, but like I think he's more spry. I think he's more athletic. I think he's a better 2-way player than Cody Zeller is at this stage of his career. And again, like maybe Zeller flashes a little bit more than he did towards the latter end of last year with Miami, but I didn't love that kind of swap. Maybe if they get something like maybe if like Larry Nance stays healthy, like he's another guy who I like they have pieces around their top 2 that I like and that I think can obviously impact any given game. I think Jonas is one of the more underrated centers in the league. CJ McCollum was really good for them last year. And so maybe but it's so reliant with how deep this conference is. Everything is so reliant on those top 2 guys.
Yeah.
And if those guys stay healthy, you might be onto something with the top 5 thing. I'd have to do the math in my head. Right now, I kind of see him as like a 6 to 8 in the West. Maybe I'm selling him a little bit short, but like that conference is loaded. And maybe they do. I mean, obviously, if Ingram and Zion do stay healthy, let's say for like 50 games apiece, or like at least in Ingram's case, since he's been healthier throughout his career, like 55, 60.
Yeah.
Then you could be looking at a team who is like that number 5 seed, that pesky number 5 seed. I'm blanking on who's the head coach. It's I'm blanking on his name. For some reason he escaped me, but he's God, who is it? I just completely like
space.
Willie Green.
Green. That's right.
Willie Green, like he's a good head coach and he's done a good job with this group over the last 2 years. And so like there is a world where they are like a top 5 seed, but I still have them. I'll peg them as like the 6th seed right now, but it's really contingent on this team staying healthy. And like I think the Vegas over under is 44.5, which I don't think is terrible. There's a lot of teams in the West who have that kind of similar over under, just for like perspective.
You said it was 44.5.
At least last time I saw it, maybe it's moved since then.
No.
Like it's 44.5, 45.5. Like there's a lot of kind of teams in that range, and it's like for them to have 3 more wins, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. That I think they probably push that mark a little. Like I think they go over that. Maybe not by much, just given how loaded that conference is. But who the heck knows, man? Who the heck knows?
I went the other way with my preview with my prediction for him. I have him going 38 and 44. I think it.
Wow.
I think, but that's implying that I think there will be something that happens, but I don't think they're going to get off to as strong of a start. I think it's going to be one of those things that I just, compared to some of the other benches in the West, I know they have some good players, but I don't trust the whole bench unit as a whole. So I see that as a drop off. I definitely think I might be shooting him a little short, but I have him missing out on the play-in completely this year and finishing 3rd in their division.
Wow.
I think it's going to be one of those years that nothing goes right for them when everyone's healthy. Sure, they might put up some individual good numbers, but as a team, not completely bought in.
Fair enough.
There's an implication that I think leaning on the side that they don't stay, Zion and Ingram don't necessarily stay healthy all season.
Okay. Yeah, wow, 30. Wait, you said 38 and 44?
Yeah, so 4 games worse than last season.
Wow.
So
I don't know if it'll be that.
I don't know if they have that crazy good start like they did last season.
That's more than fair. That's more than fair. I mean, I guess like Zion's looked solid in the preseason, but again, like just stay healthy.
Yeah.
Just stay healthy. I mean, the one thing I have liked about them, I haven't watched a whole lot of them this preseason, but like when I have, they're experimenting with them at the 5. And so I think that's a little bit interesting in terms of like maybe he gets like 5 or 10 minutes a night where he is that small ball 5. He kind of hovers in that dunker spot, opens up the floor for everybody else. And it's kind of that threat, but
yeah, he might not be as tall as some of the centers, but he's got the vertical still to get up and rebound and the physicality to compete with the big guys down there.
Right, and that's probably the biggest question is like how well, like even if he isn't like playing the 4 or the 5, I mean he's going to be playing probably the 4, but like defensively, how is he going to hold up? How is he going to hold up with the physicality? Again, I just pray to God that he doesn't get injured. I mean, he's a strong guy, but like nimbleness for him is a little bit difficult nowadays compared to what he used to be, because he doesn't have the fleet of foot that he used to have, and he doesn't have like the burst. I mean, he's still athletic, but he doesn't have he's like 70% of what he once was in terms of like athletically speaking. And he's only like what 6'6", 6'7", something like that. Like he's physical enough, but I just wonder how he'll hold up over that. But do you have anything more to add?
I don't. Fingers crossed that we see some health this year, because I think if they are healthy, like I said, my prediction was 38-44, implying that they're not. I think they could be, when healthy, a top 5-6 team in the West. But we'll see. A lot of questions, or really just one big question. we'll see how it ends up.
Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. Call us dumb or me dumb.
I'm
hindsight,
shooting way too low. It's 38 is 38 and 44 disrespectful. I want to hear the hate coming from New Orleans. Let me hear it.
That's something you gotta like call into like a radio station, being like, yeah, I think they're winning like 38 games, and just see how many angry callers come and like bash you or something. At least that'd be something I would do on my free time if I lived over there. But I don't, so that's probably for the better for everyone involved. Like and subscribe. Check out all of our content at vendetta-sportsmedia.com. Check out all of our season previews. We'll be having them up on the YouTube page. Oh, I mean, by now we probably already have them up, but like we'll be having those up on the YouTube page. We have them up on the site right now, so please go check that out. Thank y'all for watching.